What's going on, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here, and join me today for my overview of the Gen 13 Starting Over Deluxe Edition hardcover from DC Comics. So, please stay tuned. Alright, so what we're looking at here is the very first, which is so weird to say, deluxe edition of a Gen 13 collection. This does collect the early parts of Gen 13, so the original team. So here on the cover, you have the main characters. A few of these make their first appearance in the first issue, and then another character like Rainmaker, she shows up, I think, in the second issue. So you have Grunge, Fairchild, Burnout, Lynch back there, and Freefall. And like I mentioned, Rainmaker. So these are the main characters that make up Gen 13. So here is the spine. Gen 13 Starting Over, the deluxe edition. Lee, Choi, and Campbell. Jee and Brandon Choi were the writers on the book, and then of course Jeffrey Scott Campbell was the main artist, who are Gen 13, and an early piece of art right there from Jeffrey Scott Campbell. The book retails for $49.99. Now, under the dust jacket, we have this image right here. I think this is from the third issue, if I'm not mistaken, because Pitt's in that particular issue. But what I want to say is this is a deluxe edition, just to put that out there again, just in case you're a little confused. So, it's bigger than your standard edition. Here it is, next to Strange Adventures. This is the standard size hardcover. So this is as tall as an Omni. Alright, let's get this book open, show off the art, and then talk a little bit about the stories and the characters in here. So let's get this opened. Here's your end pages right there. Gen 13, Starting Over the Deluxe Edition. This is printed on glossy paper. It's a little thicker than the paper they used in some of the standard edition hardcovers. So here's your table of contents, what year it originally came out, and of course the credits, who the writers were, who the pencilers were, the inkers, the colorists, letterers, everything is found through here. And this is the very first issue. Now, what's interesting about Gen 13 is that they actually made their first appearance in Deathmate Black. I don't know if anybody remembers that crossover with Valiant that didn't make a damn lick of sense. But hey, pretty artwork, right? At least I had that. But anyway, yeah, that's where they made, well, most of the characters made their first appearance. But this collects Gen 13, issues 1 through 5, the original 5-issue miniseries, and then the popularity just blew up. So the series came back with an issue number 0. So this collects issues 0 through 5 of that series, of that ongoing series. Lost Paradise number 1, Blacklist 1, Wildstorm Universe Sourcebook number 1, Encore number 1, and then European Vacation number 1. That's what this collects. So, now, I'm a little surprised they didn't go all the way through with all of Jeffrey Scott Campbell's work on the book. So I think he stayed till about issue 19 or 20. So 15 more issues I think would have done it. So, but at least we got this. At least we got a deluxe hardcover. I can't remember if there's ever been a deluxe hardcover release. I know, at least not by DC. I don't think Image ever did one. They've done like artist things, but not with this much content. I have very fond memories of this first issue for two reasons. Number one, the way it was advertised originally, like in the house ads and the pages of Stormwatch or in the pages of Wildcats, it was called Gen X. However, Marvel was coming out with a Generation X book, so they had to change the title to Gen 13. So you see some house ads with the guy with the gun and the kids on the poster. It reads Gen X, but then they changed it later to Gen 13. Oh, and I forgot to talk about one other important character who appears through these pages, and that is the gentleman known as Lynch, this guy right here, who has ties to Team 7. He has ties to Wildstorm Universe characters like Wildcats and Stormwatch. But anyway, all these kids were part of this government internship for gifted youths. And there's a secret, of course, that they all have secret power abilities. They all have the Gen Active gene inside of them that activates her powers. Like Fairchild can have speed and have super strength. There's Pitt right there. Burnout can fly and kind of like the Human Torch. Yeah, these characters are very familiar. We've seen these type of characters before. We've seen them in the pages of not just X-Men, but also, Fantastic Four. But the main drive for a lot of us that were getting these books at the time was the artwork. Now, something very interesting about the artist right here is that this is Jeffrey Scott Campbell. I want to say this is the first thing that he got printed. This is long before he was doing covers. But I remember him from a contest on Nintendo Power magazine where it was like, make your own video game. And he was so young and drawing and creating his own video game. He created the character designs for this video game. I don't think it ever got made, but I thought that was so cool, and I remember his style. So when I saw the first issue, I was like, that looks like that guy. And sure enough, it was. Now, one cool thing about this deluxe edition is the evolution of an artist. I love when you get to see that, especially, just even transitioning from just the first issue all the way to the 5th issue. Their faces, their eyes are more rounded. He's more comfortable with the characters. Action sequences don't look as awkward. Panel flow is a lot better. And that is one thing I love about collected editions. This, I believe, is Ryan Benjamin, if I'm not mistaken, from issue 0. Here's a few Jim Lee pages right here. So Fairchild can also grow. And then we kickstarted again with a brand new issue because the title was so hot. It came back. They're playing a Mortal Kombat game right here. But by now, Jeffrey Scott Campbell's artwork has just completely changed from the way that it used to be. He is definitely a lot more comfortable with himself, showing off that cake right there. And, this is long before he was doing just cover art, which is probably what he's known for now. It's been years since I've seen any internal artwork from Jeffrey Scott Campbell. I think Danger Girl might have been one of the last things I saw. But this is the type of artwork you're going to find in here. Now let's take a look at all of this is your extras. So you have a bunch of variant covers, including the 13 different variant covers for the first issue. What the hell ever happened to John Cleary? I remember he had a very McFarlane style. He and his brother did a little independent comic called Sinja, sorry. And then he did an issue of Robin. It's all these artists, I thought. Jason Pearson. That's based on the Janet Jackson cover right there. Some more Jeffrey Scott Campbell covers. The Pulp Fiction cover right there. And is that Barry Windsor Smith? Really looks like Barry Windsor Smith right there. It's Gen 13 variant cover by Jeffrey Scott Campbell and Alex Gardner. Yeah, I don't think that's right. That is Barry Windsor Smith. You can tell by just his line work. His faces. That does say BWS. So I think that's a misprint right there. That's definitely Jim Lee. Yeah, you can definitely tell Jeffrey Scott Campbell's artwork in Jim Lee house ad right there. Now, the series did spin off. There was a Gen 14 series, an encore, or was it bootleg, I think? And then there was also, DV8 by Humberto Ramos, which was also part of these young kids. There's Bliss and Threshold. That's Adam Warren right there. Michael Lopez. Brings back a lot of memories looking at this art. And yeah, this was around the time when I stopped reading comics, so this is like my last hurrah. Yeah, I never did go back and pick up any of the other issues. And from time to time, I would try to go back and read some of this relaunch or reboots, like the one with Gail Simone. I think, actually Fairchild, because DC absorbed all the Wildstorm, I think Fairchild is now, or was during the New 52 with Superboy. And then the Ravagers eventually. So the book, this particular book right here, let's look at the binding really quick. Has 352 pages is what I was going to say. It is sewn binding. There is a lot of glue down there. But honestly, it was laying over pretty good towards the beginning. I mean, you're going to get some gutter loss with that much glue, but it's not terrible. And there are a lot of spread pages in here. but this is the way that it was laying over towards the beginning and towards the back of the book. I forgot to mention, these are the character designs by Jim Lee. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your confirmation email from CGN, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this deluxe edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you've picked it up, if you remember the series. If you've never heard of Gen 13, hope I was able to do a pretty good job explaining exactly what it was. And yeah, if you've picked it up, what you thought about it, did you think that they should have gone all the way to issue 20 and just gone ahead and give us an omnibus or an absolute edition? And what other Wildstorm series should they collect? For me, I would love to see the rest of Wildcats. I'd love to see Whilce Portacio's Wetworks and DV8 by Humberto Ramos. But anyway, leave all those comments and questions down below. This was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We are on Patreon. It's an amazing way to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, all of you stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.